Hey everyone, and welcome. So let's just jump right in. We're going to tackle a huge problem that honestly almost anyone working with data runs into. How in the world do you make sense of massive piles of raw, messy text? We're talking about thousands of customer reviews, millions of news articles, just endless streams of social media posts. How do you find the real patterns, the signal, in all that noise?
And it really does feel like you're drowning in a sea of words sometimes, right? But luckily, we've got two pretty powerful tools to build ourselves a life raft: text clustering and topic modeling. Now, for years, these two were seen as totally separate things, but as you're about to see, those lines are getting really blurry. So let's unpack what they are, how they've evolved, and most importantly, which one you should actually be using today. Okay, to really wrap our heads around this, we need a simple but super powerful analogy that's going to guide us through this whole thing. So forget the complicated math for just a second and imagine you're just trying to organize a kitchen.
This slide nails the two core philosophies perfectly. On one side, you've got clustering. Think of it like sorting your groceries into piles. You're asking, okay, does this go in the fruit pile, the vegetable pile, or the dairy pile? Each thing belongs in exactly one pile. Simple. But topic modeling, on the other side, that's more like looking at a finished dish, like a lasagna, and trying to figure out the recipe. You're asking, what are the ingredients in here? And you'd find it's, maybe 50% pasta, 30% tomato sauce, 20% cheese. The dish is a mixture of ingredients. That's the key difference.
All right, so let's take a step back in time and talk about the old guard. For a long time, these two philosophies were represented by two classic foundational algorithms that really defined their fields for years.
So classic text clustering is all about one thing: organization. The whole goal is to group entire documents based on how similar they are. It's literally like putting digital files into folders. And the most famous algorithm here is k-means, where a document gets assigned to one and only one cluster. It's clean, it's simple, and it's great for basic categorization.
Topic modeling, though, is a different beast. It's all about discovery. The classic algorithm, latent Dirichlet allocation, or just LDA, it starts with the assumption that every single document is a mix of underlying themes. It works by finding words that tend to show up together. So if it sees rocket, orbit, and moon appearing together across a ton of documents, it cleverly figures out, there's probably a hidden topic here, something we might call space exploration.
And this table just lays out that classic divide perfectly. Clustering, on the one hand, gives you these mutually exclusive groups. It's all about document-level similarity. Topic modeling, on the other, gives you a distribution of topics per document. It's looking at those word-level patterns. So you might use clustering to organize a news archive into sports and tech folders, but you'd use topic modeling to discover that your tech folder is actually a mix of, say, 70% AI research and 30% semiconductor manufacturing. See the difference? And then everything changed. The rise of large language models didn't just tweak these techniques a little bit, it fundamentally rewired how we even approach them. It was a massive, seismic shift for the whole field. So what was the game changer? It all comes down to one thing: high-quality embeddings. See, before LLMs, we were mostly just counting words, but modern embeddings, they don't just count, they understand. They turn text into these rich numerical representations that capture the actual semantic meaning. They know that car is really close to automobile, and they know that I am not happy is the total opposite of I am happy. This was a quantum leap in contextual awareness. And the real-world advantages here are just huge. I mean, because they get synonyms, they aren't fooled by different ways of saying the same thing. They work brilliantly across different languages, which was a massive headache for older models. But honestly, the real game changer is how well they work on the kind of text we actually see all the time online. Short, messy product reviews or tweets, where context is literally everything, and the old models would just get completely lost. So this revolution paved the way for a whole new generation of tools. And one name really stands above all the rest: a modern hybrid that brilliantly combines the strengths of both of those classic philosophies we talked about. Because here's the thing. The state-of-the-art approach today isn't about choosing one or the other. It's about using them together in a really smart pipeline. And the framework that absolutely perfected this synthesis is called BERTopic. It's become the go-to standard for a very good reason. Let's just walk through this pipeline because it's so incredibly elegant. First, it creates those powerful context-aware embeddings. Second, since those embeddings can be super complex, it uses a technique called UMAP to simplify them without losing the important stuff. And third, and here's the big aha moment, It clusters the documents using a modern algorithm called HDB scan. That's right, modern topic modeling literally performs text clustering as its main step. Finally, it looks inside each of those clusters and uses a smart technique to pull out the most representative keywords that define the topic.
But wait, it gets even better. For truly state-of-the-art results, there is a new optional final step. Instead of just getting a list of keywords like price, market, trade, stock, you can actually feed those keywords to a generative LLM and just ask it, hey, what's a good, simple name for this topic? And it'll come back with a perfect human-readable label like financial market analysis. This makes the output so much easier for anyone to understand.
Okay, so that's the theory, but what does this all mean for your project? Let's get practical and figure out exactly what approach you should be using today heading into 2026. Let's answer the big question. You've got a data set full of text. You need to find the hidden patterns. What tool do you actually reach for? This guide pretty much lays it all out. So if your goal is just to quickly group similar documents together, you don't even need the whole pipeline. You can just do the first few steps, create the embeddings, maybe simplify them, and then cluster them. Simple, fast, done. But if you need those groups to have clear, interpretable themes and labels, you're going to want the full BERTopic pipeline, especially with that final LLM labeling step. What if you're dealing with a truly massive data set, like over 1 million documents? Well, there are specialized, faster models like BERTopic that are built for that kind of scale. And what if you already know what you're looking for? You can use what's called a seeded approach, where you give the model some example keywords to help it find topics like customer complaints or positive feedback. And finally, for those really short texts like tweets or reviews, sometimes a simpler clustering algorithm like GMM actually works a little better with the embeddings. And this really brings us to the single biggest takeaway of this whole explainer. The old debate is just over. The line has blurred so much that modern topic modeling has essentially become this sophisticated multi-step process where clustering is a key ingredient, followed by some really smart labeling. The two fields have basically converged. Which leaves us with one last big thought. As these AI models get even better at understanding context and at automatically generating perfect human-like labels, are we heading towards a future where the terms clustering and topic modeling just merge? Will they just become two different words for the same fundamental task of making sense of our world of text? It's definitely something to think about.